So, starting out off, Blueprint versus C++. So why should you use C++? See, C++, it is more flexible. You can make your code much flexible than yung sa Blueprint. You can have more access to it, more control over whatever you code. It's good for writing the base class. Yung mga complex algorithms such as yung mga loops nyo and yung mga mathematical expressions like log or whatnot, they're better in code than in visual. I mean, technically, they even look better sa code. Kasi kung ginawa mo sa blueprint mismo, parang may mga multiple nodes ka just to add or multiply. Okay? Then, blueprints will exponentially spaghettify within a short time. So what does that mean? Uh, the longer code sa blueprint, the more complex your code is, the more it just looks messy. Especially when you have lines crossing from one end to the other. It just gets messy. It is easier and more encapsulation code, meaning you have more control kung ano dapat yung mga private or public, mga ganun. Not everything would be accessible, unlike sa blueprint, parang lahat accessible. Yes, you can choose to make it private naman. There's a certain tick box that you have to press, but uh, ayun. Kasi not only that, wala siyang protect eh. Wala siyang protect. It's either private or it's public. Alright. Then, it is easier and more, maximum potential performance. So, everywhere you try reading, online, it will always say that C++ has potentially better performance than um, yung blueprint natin. In here, it's also easier to pinpoint bugs. Makikita mo agad ano yung red, especially sa with your IDE like Visual Studio or Rider. Makikita mo agad kung ano yung mga problema ng code nyo. Not only that, but it has a better error handling. Okay. So, what do I hate about si Unreal C++? That it is C++. Marami siyang boilerplate code and weird errors. Maraming beses nangyayari na ganun. Di mo alam kung saan nag-error. So, last time sa mga errors na nangyayari sa mga students, I have to find out ano yung problema nun, right? And that's a thing. Sometimes, you wouldn't expect na nag-error siya dun because of some other type of problem. And maybe you'll find out in this term. Right? Then, it is slow and buggy autocomplete. So, dahil C++ siya, ang daming uh, how it reads the code and stuff, it's not as fast as C Sharp. It takes a while. Ang ginagawa niya, parang babasahin niya lahat ng mga code na na classes doon sa sa Unreal. Then, it'll start to show errors. It'll take time. Kaya most of the time, ikaw mismo yung magta-type lang yung code. You don't rely na on the IDE or si Visual Studios. Ta-type nyo lang agad yun. Later mo naman malaman na, may problema pala dito. Because that's how long it takes uh, to autocomplete or to check yung mga errors done. So, slow compile time, this is 100% true, 100% correct. It takes a while to compile the C++ in Unreal. Kaya nga, ang kailangan nun is an SSD. No, maybe not kailangan, but it will make your life easier because how fast it compiles in SSD compared to HDD, ay nako, sobrang maiyak ka sa HDD. Alright? So, Visual Studio needs to parse thousands of files. Ay, ito pa rin sinasabi ko, yung parsing. So, autocomplete pala yung magta-type ka, tapos lalabas agad yung mga suggestions. Yeah, ba pala yun. But anyway, it's still a hassle, yung pag-parse. And then, include what you use. So when you include what you use, unlike C Sharp na you can just simply add agad yung mga nagawa mo na classes, you have to include it on the top of the CPP file. If not, you're gonna question like, baka di mo ma-access yung mga functions ng mga classes mo kasi di mo na-include yung class na yun. Right? What else? Some parts of the API is counterintuitive. This part, medyo umokay na. Nag-improve na si Unreal with the Unreal 5. They're able to release some better looking API or what you say yung uh, like the manual of the C++ in Unreal. But I believe it's still not as good as yung sa Unity. Sa Unity talagang it has a not only does it have lots of examples, pero in-explain niya talaga. So, best practices, dapat yung mga base classes mo, or at least most of it, should be written in C++. So, prototype with blueprints. Kasi since the compiling time just takes too long, better to just prototype with blueprints. So, to prevent reparenting, always start with the C++ base class. Kahit na you don't plan to write any code. You cannot access blueprint classes via C++. So, whatever na code mo sa C++, you can access it sa iba-ibang C++ classes. But the blueprints that you create in Unreal, you have no way of accessing it in C++. Okay? So, medyo one way lang siya. Yes, Blueprint can access the C++, but C++ cannot access Blueprint. Okay? So, expose what is only needed. Not everything has to be protected or public. You can choose to have private variables or functions, and which is a good practice then for coding. Kasi if multiple people are gonna start coding with you, right? It's better na you control ano lang dapat yung mga private or ano yung dapat yung mga variables that they can only interact with. Or else, baka malay mo masira yung code mo because of them changing stuff kasi naka-public siya. Okay? Expose implementable events. This is the most reliable way to respond to the base class events. So, itong mga implementable events, this is one way para the blueprint can talk. I can interact with the C++. Sorry. No. This is one way para the C++ can wala. Ano yan? C++ can talk to Blueprint? No, the other way. The Blueprint can talk with the C++. Yeah. Anyway. Anything that is visual or playing sound should be written in Blueprint. Do not try to force yourself into writing na to play this certain sound in this certain file. No. Gawin mo Blueprint na yun. Because that is way easier. Anything that's visual or playing... Create the required component in code. Also set the root component in code. So yung mga components like the health component and whatnot, they are better na sa code na lang yun. Not only that, pero yung mga meshes, yung mag-add ka ng mga static mesh or sphere collider, gawin mo na lang sa code yun. Link assets via Blueprint. So, ayun nga, don't try to force the C++ to get assets from like a certain folder or something. Medyo hard-coded na yun, and it is a bit messy. Now, there are tools that only exist in Blueprint, such as yung mga UI, yung mga ganun. So, use them whenever necessary. Again, you don't have to fully commit to using C++. You could choose to use Blueprint then from time to time. Handle errors or failsafes in code as much as possible. This way, it is easier for you to track ano yung problema. Finally, compile your code via Unreal Engine. So, hindi sa Visual Studios or sa Rider mismo. Do it through Unreal Engine kasi sasabihin niya na agad kung ano yung mga problema nun, and for sure, when there's a problem, sasabihin na agad ni Unreal Engine yun. Okay, any questions so far? We just came through this lang a bit. Sige. So yun nga. So blueprints and C++ are meant to be used with each other. You cannot force yourself to just use C++. And kapag blueprint lang, there are times na better na to work with C++ na rin. Sure, you can go all blueprint, but when you start creating large games, that's when it becomes a bit hard na. Just like I said a while ago, it is prone to spaghetti code. Now, let us go to C++ programming. So in Unreal, they have something called the Unreal Reflection System. This one, parang it tells the editor ano yung mga properties nun. So here we have uClass. uClass generates reflection data for classes. Itong part na to usually automatic na nilalagay ni Unreal when you create a class. So there's nothing to worry about that. uStruct, this one is when you want to create a struct instead of a class. So you type in uStruct instead. Then uProperty. uProperty is one of the more important specifiers in Unreal. Yung uProperty, use it for mga variables, basically. Variables or, well, event dispatcher din. That is uProperty. Then si uFunction, from the name itself, mga functions or methods sa blueprint. Then finally, generated body. This one, again, is automatically created when you automatically added when you create a class sa in a C++. So, ang important dito is itong CU function and uProperty. These two, you will use it heavily. Kasi mga properties and yung mga variables and functions and methods, ayun, you'll be using it heavily. Then, we have, any questions here? Okay. Here, we have data type prefixes. So, ito, usually nalagay sa start ng, not usually, pero they will put it sa start ng name, ng variable or function or class, right? So, T, kapag template classes, U is usually, they're inherited from U object and U actor components. So, lahat ng Unreal stuff, yung mga components na yun, they usually have a U. So, like, si static mesh component, the actual class name is U static mesh component. Then, we have A. A kapag actor. So, when you create a actor or character or pawn, may A siya, automatic, sa start. A actor, A pawn, A character. Then, we have S, which is yung mga widgets. This one, we don't usually use. E, for enums. Hopefully you know what enum is. It's basically like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yung mga ganun. Except, parang may pangalan na siya. So, it just enumerates. B is for Boolean, true or false. So, you'll know right away if a variable is a Boolean kapag may B siya sa start. Then finally, F for uncategorized classes. So this one, you don't really have to memorize this at all. Maybe just the F later on. But in case you have you see one, I see the functions and variables with these prefixes, then you'll know right away kung ano siya. Now, CU property, like I said a while ago, is for yung mga variables. So, for your property to be accessible by Blueprint Editor, you must mark it with a U property. Without U property, hindi siya lalabas sa editor nyo. And here, you can modify the nature or accessibility of each property. So, yung mga nasa loob nito are specifiers. Alright. You can choose to make it edit anywhere. Yung tipong pwede mo siya edit not only sa scene, sa class niya, but sa scene mismo. We have blueprint read write kung gusto mo yung getter or setter. Category is yung itong category. It will bunch up all the properties with the same category together. So these are the common specifiers. This one, maybe not memorized, but you should know. You should know these. So if ever you start creating yung mga variables mo, you can search online or keep a copy of this. So, kapag edit anywhere, ayun nga, pwede mo siya i-edit yung value sa editor. Kapag visible, para siyang naka-gray out siya. You can only view it. Kapag blueprint read only, that is like getter lang. Pwede mo siya get yung value, but you cannot set it at all. Ang setter nun lang is through code. Kapag blueprint read write, that is when the variable can be a getter and a setter. Pwede mo i-set sa pwede mo siya i-set sa blueprint, pwede mo siya i-get sa blueprint. Yung nga, category is to just group up your properties together. Next, we have view function. So view functions are just the methods and functions of Unreal. So view functions cannot be called directly via blueprint. Kailangan may mark muna na view function siya. Not only that, pero may certain specifiers na rin. And again, maybe not memorize, but have a copy of this. So, kapag blueprint callable, it is yung tipong na-code mo yung function sa C++, pero you can call that function in the editor. Kapag blueprint implementable event, this allows blueprint to react to calls in C++. Meaning, you can create yung mga yung event nito implement po itong event sa blueprint. So in the C++, empty lang to. It is just an empty function. Andyan lang siya. What you do is you override it in the editor and dun mo ilalagay yung mga actions gagawin mo dun. Next, we have blueprint native event. So it is the same as implementable event, but there are default implementations in the base classes. I don't usually use this itong native event unless you want it to be, I think, alam ko kasi it's like these two combined, callable and implementable. Sa pagkalam ko. Kapag blueprint pure, if di nyo na visit to sa editor, it is just useful for reading a value. Yung tipong it's a function pero ang kalabasan nun is just a value. So that is a blueprint pure. Usually you only get it for like mga values from by computing a certain value, like normalizing the HP and stuff. So there are more than this. You can search it up, pero these are the usual. Any questions or clarification? None? Okay. UObject is basically the building block of Unreal Engine. If you used on Unity, it is the game object. So everything is all made out of a UObject. So this provides functionalities like pag-reflect ng properties and methods, like yung kanina, pag-garbage collection, or finding new objects by name. Ayun. A actor is the actor in Unreal. So, bakit may A? May A pa dito kasi it's from ano, the actor pa. So, a actor. So, to spawn an actor, you must call uworld ::spawn actor. This is your only way of spawning an actor. Uworld : spawn actor. So, this is a C++ kind of thing. Yung double colon na to. So, uworld is the class, and then we're accessing like a static function, which is spawn actor. Anyway. So, to destroy an actor, you just call its destroy. So, let's say you have a actor named uh, run character. So, in order to destroy it, you have to do run character arrow destroy. Not period. Arrow. Because it will be a pointer. But anyway, we'll discuss that later. So, a actor has events called during its life cycle. Just like in the blueprint, meron siyang begin play, tick, end play, and many other events. Yung actor component naman is the components. So a actor handles high-level goals for the object while U actor components perform individual tasks that support those high-level objectives. So hindi dapat yung mga uh, heavy code andito. These are just something that would help yung actor mismo. Yun nga, like the health, movement, and other stuff. So actor answers the question, what? While the component answers the question, what is this thing made of? Components can be arranged in hierarchy, pero usually ginagawa natin to sa blueprint. When you mean hierarchy, yung tipong ano yung saang parent, sino yung parent niya, sino yung child nito. That's when you mean hierarchy. So a actor has a root component property. This is the topmost component in the hierarchy. So, siya yung pinaka-base mismo ng actor na yun. It's just called the root component. So, using components gives your component transform. The actor's root component must be a using component for it to be placed in the world. So, kailangan, if gagawa kayo ng actor, you have to make sure na using component ang root niya. You can choose naman to have a sphere, pero you won't be able to like place it properly sa world. So components are ticked along with the owning actor. So it goes with the actor mismo. So yun nga. Ito yung mga hierarchy natin. Si capsule yung pinaka-top. Ito yung pinaka-base. Then we have arrow and mesh, which are children of the capsule component. Same thing. Ito din si first person camera component. Children siya ni capsule component. Then we have, well, okay. Have any questions here? None. So itong part na to, not too heavy. I mean, you don't have to memorize this. It's something that just for you to learn about. So we have primitive data types in C++. So instead of car, we use tcar. Or instead of string, we use fstring. Then again, they still work pa rin as is. It's just that there are some functions that requires you to use a fstring instead of a string lang. Okay. So instead of int, we also use int 32. So this allows your data to be compatible in all platforms. Not only just sa computer, pero may iba-ibang platforms like sa console or mobile. Float is still float, double is still double. Ayan. So, si fstring, meron siyang mga functions that you can access by typing fstring colon colon. So, instead of std string, we use fstring. You can also use text, pero not all. Not all will use text. So here we have fstring and then text. So you can access this naman with the, if you want to learn more about it, meron siyang mga documentations. Again, not everything naman will use fstring. Oh, there are some na okay lang na with just string lang. You have t-array. Though, so, kung kailangan mo gumawa ng array, kailangan mo ng t-array. So this allows your array to be interactable within Blueprint editor. Makikita mo siya mismo sa Blueprint. Kapag array lang siya, na like in 32 open close bracket, di mo siya makita yun. Tsaka CT array, meron siyang mga functions that are really useful. So it is powerful and more efficient than the vector. Yeah. So if you want to learn more about it, may mga documentation siya online. Here we also have other containers such as tmap or tset, but this is for optimizations na kailangan mo mabilis mag-search through an array or whatnot. Ayun. You use one of these two. So garbage collection, nothing to worry about in Unreal. Unreal handles it properly. So you can simply just delete lang. Okay, so you have to call its destroy function if you want to remove its world. And then automatic na. I-garbage collect ni Unreal na yun. Any questions? None? So yeah, medyo daming yeah. Medyo marami ito, pero you don't have to memorize all of this. This is just a brief run through. We'll get to it one by one naman. So don't worry. This is just like a run through now. A general idea on how Unreal works. So we have a actors, and then how you need to use like U property, the specifiers. This is just to give you an idea how all of these work. Okay, and no questions? Okay, no questions. So, welcome to Unreal 5. It looks way different than Unreal 4. It's all black. Pero may mga magagandang part dito. So, one thing to know first here is for you to make your code work. Let's say nag-code ako sa tile. The thing is, you have to compile it, right? You have to compile it first before the changes mo, yung changes na ginawa mo sa tile would work. So how do you think, where do you think the compile button is here? Before, it used to be up here. Malaking button yun, compile. With all the like platforms, yung pag-play and whatnot. Right now, wala na siya dito. Any guess? Is it here? Build? Hindi. Magaling, magaling. So someone has already played around. So, like I said a while ago, you should not be building in uh, the IDE, like the Visual Studio. You have to build it sa Unreal. Ay, sorry, you have to compile it sa Unreal. And how do you compile it? You see the small button right here? This is the compile button. And this is a very important button for us because it's what we need to press before to make our game work. Okay, so if you after you do your changes in your C++ class, you have to click this small button. I don't think there's a way to make it bigger or move it. uh, I'll
Sir, what kind of file should we choose?
sige, let's get there. Let's open up Unreal. If you were to start for the first project, it would be third person. Ito yung gagamitin natin, third person. And make sure C++ is click. Baka kasi naka-blueprint ka, kaya wala yung button na yun. David. Baka hindi ka naka C++ dito. Important, ito pa lang, you have to make sure C++ is clicked here. So that's all I need. You can retracing, joke lang. Basta starter content, have it on, and then make sure this is in your SSD. Ayan. So we'll be using third person. Hopefully pinaglaro na yun yung Unreal Engine 5 kasi it does look way different. Kahit yung blueprint ata may slight difference to it. But anyway. Close ko to. O diba? Ito pa lang. This part pa lang. Tagal na magbukas yung Unreal. Paano pa kayo pag-compile nyo? Paano crash na to? Yan. So here we have Unreal again. When you start it off, it looks like this. Nawawala yung content browser nyo, right? So you have a content over here that you can press it, lalabas siya, then it will close when you interact. You can have it there, you can have it stay there naman by dock in layout. Joke lang. Hey, wait. Dock. Yan. Well, we can improve it naman by just having it here. There. So if you started off, you'll see that you have an additional folder here instead of just the content. May additional folder ka na C++ class. In order for you to create a class, there are two ways. One is here, tools, new C++ class. And then this is what it looks like. We can also create a new class by accessing the C++ classes, yung folder, and then right click, new C++ class. Same thing. Okay. So for now, I will create a actor. Then it tells you ano yung pangalan nun. I will call this test actor. Then gagawa na siya ng code for it. So you'll see na it really is taking a bit of time. That's why it is way better to prototype sa blueprint. Because itong part pa lang, this is already eating up your time. So ito, here's our test actor. And it comes with a header file and a CPP file. So you'll notice that automatic may generated body, my U class, and then we have begin play, and we have tick, which is the usual. It's the same thing when you create a actor here, diba? May ganun din siya. We have begin play, we have tick. Well, ito, may bago. I mean, not bago, pero dinadagdag lang nila. But, gets nyo. Tick and begin play. Almost the same thing. And I should delete this. Alright. So, what if I want to add... actually, nga pala. Di nyo nakita. If di nyo nakita, kanina may naka-red to, nag-error lahat. Chaos. That is normal with C++ because it is still reading all the things in Unreal. Okay. So, what if I want to add a static mesh? In order to add a static mesh, you need to find out first what is the name of a static mesh class here. So there are two ways. One is you search it, static mesh component, Unreal. And here we have the name of our static mesh component, static mesh component. And then, sige. We'll go code it muna. So we have static mesh component. And I will name it static mesh. One important thing here is kailangan pointer siya. In C# you didn't have to worry about pointers whatnot, but here in C++, it is important to know when it is a pointer or not. Si static mesh, kailangan siya pointer. Why? Because we will point it to the component that when you create it. Okay? So not only that, another thing that is important is we have to forward declare. Why? If I try to compile this right now, mag-error siya. Bakit? He does the program or si header file, he does not know what is static mesh component. Remember, this is C++. Ang alam nyo dito is we have a include, we have game framework, we have core minimal here in this header file, nothing else. The thing is, CU static mesh component is not inside anywhere here. So what we do is, the standard practice is we forward declare. This is what you mean forward declare. We are saying that there is a class na use static mesh component somewhere. We have forward declared it na. That's it. So, siya na bahala kung saan makuha yun. And sa CPP file, a standard practice is, this is where you include that static mesh component. Now the question is, where is the static mesh component? If you searched it a while ago, we have an include here. This is where you get the header file of the static mesh component. And that should be okay na. I should now have access to any functions of the static mesh. So we have activate, add force. Ayun. Kung wala to, I have it accesses something else. Hindi niya alam na it is a use static mesh from here. Actually, dapat nga mag-error to eh. Or di niya lalabas to. God knows why. But anyway. Ayan, include. And I should be able to show here. What's the other way? The other way to find where static mesh component is, search mo dito sa Solution Explorer. Static mesh component. Ayan, it will show different kinds of static mesh component. I will add a .h. Then we have here, we have private, we have isa lang pala, so components. So that's why ang include niya is components / static mesh component. Components / static mesh component. Okay? So, if kinompile ko to as is, class use static mesh component is static mesh, and then wala dito. What do you think will appear in our editor if I compile it? Anyone? Ano mangyari if I compiled it and I create a actor made out of it? Anyone? Wala. Okay. So, if I try to create a blueprint of the test actor, you would notice that it is empty. It is empty because, again, all we did is create a pointer to for static mesh. But right now, we did not set anything at all. Did not set it where is it pointing to or something. Kahit lagay ko dito, u property. Visible. Anywhere. Or edit anywhere. If I compile this, it's compiling. Yan. Kahit na nilagay ko na visible anywhere, wala pa rin siya. It will not appear at all. Because, like I said, we did not point it to anything at all. Right? Because that's what pointer does. You point it to something. Ayan. It is still empty. So, how do we create a static mesh? So we type here, right? U property, visible anywhere, static mesh. In here, under the a test actor or the oh my gosh, what do you call this? Oh no, forgot what you call it. Uh, oh my, forgot what you call this. Okay, whatever you call this. In here, you're supposed to type yung mga kailangan mo, like our static mesh component, which I called it static mesh, is equal to create default sub object. And then we type in what kind of type it is, which is a U static mesh component. And then I type in the name. I can type here static mesh. So what happened here is C static mesh, our pointer, is equal to this create default sub object. That is a U static mesh component with the name static mesh. That's all there is. So right now, this static mesh is pointing to whatever this is. If I compile this, so nakakompile ko na yun, we should be able to see wait lang. Saan na yun? Default, actor. Ayan. We should now be able to see na may static mesh na tayo called static mesh. Right now, may error siya dito because if we recall kung ano yung kailangan yung mga practices, kailangan may scene component tayo. Nangyayari is kasi naging automatic naging root component si static mesh. So in order to access the details, we need to create pa a scene component pa. So we have view property visible anywhere. Our class view scene component root. So this one right now di ko siya nilagay ng class because actor has using component na. So how do I know this? It is just through experience. Kung tinry nyo i-compile na ganito, mag-error siya. Sasabihin niya na there's already you don't have to forward declare this na because there's a class of it. It'll just say something like that. So we have root here. So just like a while ago, create default sub object, which is a uScene component. And then I'll call this root. And to make sure that root is the root component, set root component root. Okay? So I created a root. Itong si root na itong pointer natin. We pointed it to the sub-object that we just created. That is a uScene component named root. And then ginawa ko, I set it as the root component. Then si static mesh na to, if I want to make it a child of this root, what I do is static mesh, arrow, kasi this is a pointer, set up attachment. This will tell ano dapat yung parent niya. And in this case, it will be root. Okay? So if you compile it, give it some time. It succeeded. Now if I check it out again, test actor. We have our root, and then we have the details na for our static mesh. So if you notice, there are so many actions to do just to create the static mesh. No? Okay, kapag blueprint lang tayo, we just do this, add component, static mesh. That it took less than a second just to add a static mesh. But that's the case for C++. Kailangan talaga may ganun. Right? So that's how, okay, not this one. That is how you create a components of your class. So, si u property, this will set kung ano yung property niya sa blueprint. In this case, ginawa ko lang visible anywhere. Same thing here with my static mesh. I just made it visible anywhere. Then make sure that you use pointers. So that's how it works. These are all set only as pointers. It only tells us where the object is. So what happens is, in here, we are setting the pointer of this scene component we created. We set it to root, which nalagay natin dito na visible anywhere. Kaya, nakita natin. Now in here, remember, we have to forward declare some components. Kapag like use static mesh or even see camera, camera component. Now again, don't feel too pressured. Like how do I know these? The only reason I know this is through experience. You need to play around with the C++ to remember ano yung kailangan mo na classes or ano pangalan nun. So ito, si camera, I know that it is under include camera component.h. Right? The only reason I know this is because I've been playing around with Unreal. If di mo alam or you cannot find out, you can always just search camera component Unreal 5. Boom! Andito na. Andito yung include. Again, the other way, if you do not have internet, just search here. Camera component. And we have it here. Camera. Okay. So don't feel too pressured. We're going to talk about this more in our next meeting. And you should be able to understand it more next meeting. Pero feel free to play around. Okay, wag kayong ma-pressure, Chill lang. By next meeting, you should be able to at least navigate your way through Unreal and the C++. So again, I have here camera component, right? I know. Uh, Without the U property, will not be able. It won't be seen, right? And then in here, you have to do create default sub object U camera composite. You know, wala pa yung yung autocomplete camera component. Ayun, ayun. Then, to attach it to the root, camera component, arrow, set up attachment. I want it, sige, I want it sa static mesh. If I build this again, and tapos na siya mag-build. And then if I check it out again, we now have the camera component as the child of static mesh. We have here a static mesh. I can change the mesh here. Sphere. Si root, wala siyang stuff naman. It is just there. So, paano pumuntang Visual Studio? Is there multiple ways? You can open Visual Studio here. Tools. Open Visual Studio. Or tools. Di siya automatic bukas when you open the Unreal 5 with the C++. I haven't tested kasi sa lab because at that time wala pa akong access sa Unreal 5. Okay? So you might be questioning, why do I keep on creating a new blueprint? The thing is, each time na gumawa ka ng actor, tapos change ko yung code, hindi automatic na ina-update. Sometimes. Ayun. Ito si new blueprint 3. Wala pa yung camera. Minsan di siya nag-update at all. And there's only one way to do it, to fix this. I mean, besides creating a new class, is changing the Joe? Hindi. In-update nga niya. If I recall, new blueprint 3 is the one that we just created through blueprint.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
Is it recorded?
Yes, it's recorded. Pero, okay ma-pressure ulit, okay? Okay ma-pressure, we'll talk about this more next time. But, ayun nga, minsan kasi di nila na-update. I mean, dito na automatic na update. So, what I will do is, I will reparent it, and then put it back. And it should automatically change. Sometimes kasi it doesn't eh. And doing this right in front of you guys is like, bakit niya ginagawa to? Kaya di ko ginagawa. Okay? Any questions? Na memory overload na ba kayo? Huwag kayong matakot ah. I know. It may be a bit too much, pero next meeting, pretty sure, mag-gets nyo na to easily. easily. Okay, so what you guys can do is you can try to test it out. Paano gumawa ng mga to, and you'll find out that typing this typing this and let's say ginawa ko tong just like the previous, like this one, you will know, I mean, when you will know na this will not work. This will not work because we have already forward uh meron na tayong forward declared dito. So all you have to do, every other static mesh component, di nyo na kailangan. But anyway, that's when you play around. Isang box tas gagalaw forward. Okay. So how do you create a box that will move forward? This is how many actions it takes to do it. Box. Give me, I know, box spawn. You mean like siguro 5 minutes. So we have a use static mesh component. Use static mesh component. Arrow. Static mesh. Forward declare it. You know, nag-crash yung yung unwheel ko. U property, visible anywhere. And then I'll also add the spring arm. U spring arm component. Spring arm. And we also add the camera. U camera component. Camera component. I will make all of this U property. Sige, okay lang na U spring arm. Tama yan. So in here, static mesh is going to create default sub-object of our U static mesh component. Static mesh. We do this for our box also. Our spring arm. And our camera component. So this is called U spring arm component. This is called a U camera component. We have one include for components, static mesh component. We have camera for our camera component. This part I'm not sure. Spring arm component. Yeah, spring arm. Game framework. Game framework. Spring arm component. Ayan. Ba't siya nag-error? Spring arm. Semicolon. Static mesh will be my will be my root, spring arm, arrow setup attachment. This will be my, and this will be stuck to the box. And then our camera component will be stuck to our spring arm. This, you see how just copy paste it is. Pero pala sa naman yung ginagawa mo dito. Kaya, that's why they say it's like boilerplate code. Then, if we try to check our Unreal, let us create our box pawn. Hala, nasan siya? Ah, compile. See? Important. Diba? Kailangan nyo ng... Ayun, na-crash. Kailangan nyo ng i-compile parate. Let me close this. I'm compiling it. This is what it would look like. Oh. Nagka-crash. Ben. So this is also another problem with C++. Minsan magka-crash siya, and in my case, it doesn't even tell you where or why. So that's one of the few problems with C++. Kaya that's one thing you have to go through. Let me just double check something. Content source. Hold on na. Sorry. I have to change it. This is spring arm. And this is, I will call it my box. Sorry, my camera. Equals object, camera component. Okay. Compiling. Ayun. Hindi ko na alam ano yung problema. Test actor. Hold on. Ang problema pala daw is yung test actor ko. Bakit? 23. Ayan, yeah. I understand why. So, I will just remove this muna. I think na-delete ko yun or something. Compiling. Ta-da! Compiled. Our box pawn is here. And then, ayan, makita mo, andito na yung spring arm and stuff. I have my box cube. I want my camera to be a little above, so I changed the Z. And then just a bit of hard coding. I move I, hey, move. You know, I forgot the pawn movement. Input, move. So this one, ay, right. You have there's something for you to study rin. Itong si enhance input action. Bago na to. It is the new input of uh, Unreal, and it is a headache. So you can try to learn about it. This is new. Whatever what I'm doing right now. Actor forward. I will also do another one. Sakat sa ulo tong ano eh. Whatever they did here. Multiply. But anyway, it's something new. Get actor right. And then whatever I'm gonna do right here, uh, I think there's a code for this, pero it's another headache. Get controller. Enhance? No. Enhance input? Context? Wala. Etong part na to, you have to study. This is not under me na. And then I'm gonna change my pawn into gawa akong bago. New blueprint. This is my new pawn now. Box. Ta-da, play. It's not here. uh, new basic. Don't save. Pawn. New blueprint. Box pawn. Play. Or are you gonna pawn it? Okay, it's here. My my box is here somewhere. Ay, sorry. Uh, this is me going insane. Box spawn. Sorry. BP. BP underscore box spawn. There. I can't move it. So, you have to, itong part na to, it is something that you have to learn about. Kasi nag-iba na yung input nila. Remember before, here, in the project settings, if you read this, axis and action mappings are now deprecated. Iba na yung input nila. Itong enhance input. This is it. It's stupid, pero this is it. And it is something for you to study about. I can talk about it in next time. We'll go through it together if you want. Pero um yeah, it's a headache. Wait, enhance. No. Enhance. And then can I get controller here? Whatever. Get player controller. Would this move? Yeah, there we go. Now it moves. So we'll discuss this next time. This part, because this is new to Unreal Engine 5, and I think we have to go through it together. Especially like kahit si GAMPRG2, we have to go through it pa. And it's just a headache. Whatever I did here. Yung ito. Yeah, it is less split now. A bit. I'm not sure. Kasi this is what it looks like. If I go to input, ito yun eh. Ito yung nalagay ko na IMC default. We have jump, move, look. We have the usual vast. You can set it. But it's the modifier part that is different. You have like negate. You have a swizzle input. You have negate. So this is what you have to know about. Is it worth it? I'll say no. Wala eh. They did. I don't know why they did it. Look, I mean, look at this. We have IA jump, IA look. And what's the difference with this three? Nothing. Besides the value type. Sure, but that's it. I don't know. It's just a headache. Pero anyway, we'll go through that. So that's how you do the moving, the moving box. Um, we could have done this part. Itong, nagbubukas. We could have done this part in C++. There's a way to do that. Ito rin. We could do this part rin sa C++. But let us go through it together next time. All right? Sige. So I think one thing that's easy for anyone to understand is this part. It is just like copy pasting lang stuff. I already I already forgot what this is called. Constructor. There we go. The constructor. So this is what you call a constructor, right? Kasi yun yung pangalan ng class. And it is the one that is called at the very start of when it is created. So in the constructor, this is where you have to input yung mga create defaults of object. You cannot do it in begin play, you cannot do it in tick or anywhere else. Kailangan dito. That is how we are able to create those defaults, and it will appear in here. Okay? Any questions? Ito, okay. This part next time. Pag-usapan natin ito next time. Or if not, you can actually start learning about this if you create a what do you call this? If you create a the sample for third party tuloy. Third person or first person, you will see this is how they do it. The enhanced input local player subsystem. This is how it looks like. Kahit yung IA look. And then it has some more stuff there. Controller. Something. Okay? And may mga pitch, whatever. So, I hope you get this part. I hope you understand yung mga nasabi ko na specifiers. Yung ito, visible anywhere. We haven't used the others yet, but we will get to it. Any questions? Is it too late? No. Yes, it is. It is too late. We have gone to Unreal 5 now and wala. Iyak na tayo. Pero, it's new. Yes, this is recorded. You can rewatch it again. If you need more examples, you can always access the ones that was created before. I mean, sa start, itong test character, it'll, ayan, this is what it looks like. In this case kasi, this is character right away. You didn't have to create default sub object. Itong part lang. Pero ito yung sample na that is available for you. Ito yung sinasabi ko na you can code it. It's fine. Ano ba passing rate? 70%? Is that what you mean? Or how many people pass ba in GAMPRG2 is the question. Yeah. This term lang nag-start to move from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5. It's okay, Sia. We will get through this. Kaya natin to. We will pass we will pass GAMPRG 2 this time. Yes, yes. So you have any questions or concerns or may question kayo about yung project nyo, feel free to message me in Discord. Okay? Feel free to message me in Discord or sa group natin. Okay lang. Pwede tayo mag online uh, if you can, I mean, we can talk about it online rin or something. Call, ewan. Right now, the capstone of the unified capstone, they will be using Unreal Engine 5. But I don't think they're forcing anyone to use Unreal Engine 5 specifically. I think I am not sure. I mean, you've gone through the capstone assembly. Any questions? No questions? Okay. Well, so let me just check. Si Magpayo, andito. Si Legaspi, is he here?
Hi, sir. I'm here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're there. I forgot. Andre nga pala. Si Oliveros, nawawala pa. Si JV. Wala rin. Joke lang, andito lang si JV. My bad, my bad. Si Oliveros na lang. Umuwi ng Nevesia. Okay? So if there are no any questions or concerns, I will post this in in YouTube for you to watch. And again, don't feel too pressured of what we just talked about. We will talk about it more sa face-to-face natin. Kaya gusto ko face-to-face kasi para 3 hours tayo eh. Pero minsan sabaw na tayo in just 1 hour or here online. May deadline naman next week. Well, I will extend it kasi walang pasok nung last week, right? Dahil sa ulan. So everything is moved by 1. So don't worry. Again, don't worry about the deadlines. Those are just soft deadlines. Ang hard deadline is the final milestone. Yeah, don't worry. I will extend. Okay? So if there's no other questions, you guys can go. It's fine. It's fine. So again, you guys can go. Enjoy your night. And see you guys next week.